Okay, I'm losing the light, and frankly, I don't really want to talk about Charlie Kirk anymore today. I do want to take a second and talk about what Utah's governor said. Well, a couple of things that he said in his press conference today. This is my weary voice, y'all. I'm hanging in there. How are y'all doing? You holding up okay? All right, let's roll the clip. I can't believe I just said let's roll the clip. It's because I'm having a dunkel, and it's 6:30 p.m. on a Friday.
For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for.
What the actual fuck, Spencer Cox? You said that in a press conference? You were praying to your Mormon Jesus that it was going to be an immigrant who killed Charlie Kirk? You were praying for 33 hours that the victim would be an immigrant, not from this country. Or what, not a Mormon from Utah? Sucks to be you, man, because you got exactly what you didn't want. A white cis-het Mormon man from Utah named Tyler Robinson was arrested today. And not because the FBI did anything, because God knows the incompetent boobs running the FBI have fired tons and tons of the qualified FBI agents who would normally be investigating this thing. No. His daddy turned him in. The FBI didn't do jack shit to get this guy arrested. His daddy turned him in. By the way, Tyler's dad, a registered Republican and a veteran of the Washington County Sheriff's Office, is being praised all over the magosphere and in the Washington Post today, saying he put his country before his son. Gotta lean into that uber patriotism. Sounds a lot like 1930s Germany, where children were encouraged to rat out their parents. People were encouraged to turn in their neighbors, turn in their family members, siblings, wives, husbands. The Reich had to come first. Your loyalty was to the Reich over your family. And the way you proved your loyalty was to fucking rat out your own kids, your own parents, your own spouse. Just good to notice that kind of framing that we're seeing today in the press around Matt Robinson in this case. Now I could go on a whole rant about Mormonism as a cult and the squeaky clean image that Mormons are desperate to maintain, Ballerina Farm being one of them. This projection of wholesomeness, blondness, whiteness, moral purity, and also prosperity. And of course, getting to be a Jesus of your own planet, unless you're a woman and then you're just popping out spirit babies. So I'm not really surprised to see that Utah's governor is like, oh no, anybody but a Mormon. What you really wanted, I guarantee you what you really wanted was a black trans woman or a brown undocumented immigrant. That's who y'all were desperate to have this person be. And you definitely wanted them to be a leftist. You wanted them to be on the far left, a radical leftist, as Donald Trump calls them. Oh, too bad Tyler isn't even a registered Democrat. Now, there's a lot of speculation right now. I want to make it very clear that none of this has been confirmed or documented, that Tyler was a big 4chaner, pretty chronically online 4chan user, and potentially a fan of white supremacist Nick Fuentes. There's no indication that he was on the political left. There's no indication that he was some like Democrat operative or some liberal, despite the fact that we had lots of conservatives yesterday. We had Donald Trump from the Oval Office and countless Republicans being like, how dare you liberals? How dare you Democrats? Zero evidence to that fact. So I understand y'all really wanted your big, juicy story that could divide working class people even further, that could pit conservatives against liberals, Republicans against Democrats, even more profoundly than we are already fractured and pitted against each other. That didn't work out too well for you, did it? So I understand Spencer Cox, why you spent 33 hours praying that it would not be a white cis-het Mormon man from Utah whose parents are registered Republicans that has been arrested for this crime. Now, of course, he's innocent until proven guilty. Let me take a moment and respond to this other portion of this press conference, because good God.
Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state. and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option.
The saddest you've ever been, the most upset you've ever been was over Charlie Kirk. Let's get back to that in a second, but you can see this desperation here from MAGA to frame Charlie Kirk as some kind of martyr. There were folks on Fox News and Republican politicians comparing him to MLK. Yeah, comparing Charlie Kirk, who dehumanized people on the regular, said we should bring back public executions, saying 10-year-old girls like his daughter who got S-AIDS should be forced to carry the pregnancy. A man who called black women inferior to white men, not as intelligent or capable of doing the jobs of white men. We're supposed to believe now that that person was like, love your enemy. We're just having a conversation. I know I'm dehumanizing people and I'm feeding a whole ecosystem of hate, promoting violence and rabid gun culture. But it's just words, you guys. It's just conversations. It's all about love. Like, fuck off. And also the smiles like, we're just so fondly remembering him. He was just such a good human. Yeah, I agree with Knitting Cult Lady. They're trying to make a martyr out of him. It's not going to work. But let's go back to how the governor said that it was the saddest he's ever been after Charlie Kirk died. Weird, my dude. According to Sandy Hook Promise, Utah has had 7 mass shootings since 2020. Guns are the second leading cause of death of children in Utah. Yeah, but the saddest you've ever been is after Charlie Kirk was shot. While I think nobody should die of gun violence, as attorney Rachel Cohen said, nobody should be sacrificed to the NRA. I'm shocked that the thing that you are saddest about in your tenure as governor of Utah, as a Mormon resident of Utah, is Charlie Kirk being shot. This over-the-top display, all of the false smiles, all of the posturing of heartfelt sentiment. It's over the top. It's over the top. I don't know. Does anybody else feel like the state is using Charlie Kirk's death? They've used his body, J.D. Vance, parading it on Air Force 2. They're using his memory. I know that when people die of political violence, that they become, their message becomes larger in death. That's because the state is using him. I'm not a Charlie Kirk fan, never have been, obviously, but I find it reprehensible. While simultaneously expected that the state would use his death like this, would use him posthumously in this way. It's actually not unlike the way that Donald Trump uses the members of the National Guard for his political ends as pawns in his political game. If I were on the right, I would be upset at the way that Donald Trump and the Republicans are using Charlie Kirk for their own ends. I thought this whole press conference from the governor was despicable. I cannot get over him saying he spent 33 hours praying it wouldn't be a white Mormon man from Utah.